Hi, welcome to House News. The House is committed to overseeing the implementation of the 2026 Hajj to ensure better quality in its execution. After 75 years under the Ministry of Religious Affairs, the establishment of a Ministry of Hajj and Umrah is expected to improve services through stronger authority and a more focused mandate.
Indonesia has officially started sending its first batch of Hajj pilgrims to the Holy Land on April 22nd, marking the beginning of this year's pilgrimage season. This year also brings a major administrative change as Hajj affairs are now handled by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah instead of the Ministry of Religious Affairs. The 2026 Hajj season marks the first time the pilgrimage is being managed by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah as an independent institution, replacing the long-established role of the Ministry of Religious Affairs. The introduction of a new organizational structure has prompted public concern regarding the management of Hajj. In response to these concerns, Commission 8 of the House continues to oversee the preparation carried out by the Ministry of Hajj and Umrah. The supervision emphasizes important aspects of Hajj preparation, particularly the availability of supporting services to facilitate the effective implementation of the pilgrimage and the management of high-risk pilgrims. High-risk pilgrims consist of older individuals, as well as those with comorbid conditions or a medical history. These groups need more structured and comprehensive care even prior to departure. The government should develop specific protocols for these pilgrims by improving the capacity and quality of services, including accommodation, transportation, and food.
Hampir sekitar 80% mereka mempunyai riwayat risiko tinggi. Maka kami berharap sebetulnya dari Kementerian Haji betul-betul bisa mempunyai protap penanganan kepada para jamaah yang berisiko tinggi. Kemudian para petugas haji juga bisa menyiapkan pelayanan yang terbaik kepada para jamaah tersebut. Di luar itu juga kualitas penanganan di akomodasi, transportasi maupun makanan konsumsi yang disiapkan untuk para jamaah bisa meningkatkan stamina para jamaah pada saat mereka persiapan menjelang Ar-Musna atau wukuf.
Geopolitical tensions in the Middle East has also disrupted the organization of the 2026 Hajj. Several flight routes to Saudi Arabia were required to be rerouted to mitigate risks due to the ongoing conflict involving Iran, the United States, and Israel. Additionally, the surge in aviation fuel prices due to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz has increased the operational cost of Hajj flights. The Minister of Hajj and Umrah Muhammad Irfan Yusuf stated, the 2026 Hajj operation require an additional budget of 1.7 trillion rupiah. However, Commission 8 highlighted this funding should not be drawn from the Hajj Cost Fund or BPIH in order to avoid placing an extra burden on pilgrims and instead should be allocated from the state budget. The Minister of Finance confirmed the additional budget for Hajj implementation will be funded through budget reallocation and efficiency measures across ministries and government agencies.
Kita pun memahami kalau mereka meminta tambahan untuk aftur. Sesuatu yang memang tidak boleh ada penambahan setelah diputuskannya biaya ibadah haji. Tetapi karena ini masuk post mayors dan kita menyetujui permintaan tambahan sekitar 1,7 triliun oleh Kementerian Haji dan Umroh, yang menjadi perdebatan kita posnya dari mana. Tidak boleh dari BPIH karena itu sudah diputuskan. Itu harus dari APBN, misalnya dari biaya tak terduga.
The Hajj journey for Indonesian pilgrims can last up to 40 days, according to the decree of the Minister of Hajj and Umrah, number 7 of 2025. This period covers the departure from Indonesia, the stay in Saudi Arabia, and the return trip. Even though the whole journey takes more than a month, the main Hajj rituals only happen over 6 days, from the 8th to the 13th of Zulhijjah. During these important days, pilgrims carry out the key rituals such as standing in Arafah or Wukuf, staying overnight in Musdalifah, throwing stones at the Jamarat in Mina, and performing tawaf and sa'i at the Masjid Al-Haram. The large number of Indonesian pilgrims and the long duration of the Hajj process require careful handling by Hajj officers. The availability of proper accommodation, food, and transportation is important for the overall implementation of the pilgrimage. However, managing services for thousands of Indonesian pilgrims is a challenging task. Therefore, the Hajj supervisory team and the House holds an important role. Any issues encountered during the Hajj are evaluated by the team and used as a basis for improving the implementation of the pilgrimage in the following years. TVR Parliament report.
The Legislation Committee is currently drafting the One Data Indonesia bill to strengthen data sovereignty and support more integrated policymaking. The bill is designed to make national data as the main reference for development and improve digital governance with protection for privacy and public information.
Data inaccuracies remain a key challenge for the Indonesian government in implementing public policies. The Ministry of Social Affairs reported around 45% of social assistance, including the Family Hope program, is not well targeted due to slow updates and unreliable integrated social welfare data. Therefore, Commission 8 of the House highlighted the importance of improving data on social assistance recipients, especially for disaster victims and communities in remote areas. The House urged the government to immediately improve and update data to enhance its accuracy.
Semua bantuan kepada masyarakat, program-programnya harus berbasis data. Pemerintah kabupaten kota perlu dicermati soal anggaran untuk pendampingan pemutakhiran data. Dan mereka juga mengeluh bahwa ada keterbatasan anggaran, sehingga kami juga ingin mendorong Kementerian Sosial supaya memberikan DAK non-fisik khusus untuk perbaikan data. Karena apa yang disinyalir oleh Kementerian Sosial, yang disampaikan oleh Menteri Pak Saifullah Yusuf bahwa bantuan sosial itu hampir 45% tidak tepat sasaran.
Outdated and poorly managed data can cause problems for government programs. When the data is not the same across institutions, assistance and policies may not reach the right people. To fix this, the government and parliament are working on the One Data Indonesia bill, which is included in the 2026 National Legislative Program or Prolegnas as the House initiative. The Legislation Committee hopes the bill will serve as a foundation for a more integrated national data management system. A centralized system is important because it avoids differences in data between ministries and agencies.
Kita kan negara kesatuan. Kalau negara kesatuan, saya termasuk yang punya pandangan harus terpusat dia. Masing-masing lembaga, kementerian boleh memproduksi, mensuplai data. Nah, tadi malam itu kan penjelasan Ibu itu, takut nanti kalau hanya tersentral, nanti kalau datanya dihack ini, ya gampang itu. Ya kan, untuk mencegah dipalsukan, dihack begitu ya, kita bikin copy datanya dong. Ya kan, gampang. Tapi harus ada badan yang punya otoritatif.
A major concern is how data is collected and which institution is responsible for it. Data problems often come from sectoral ego, where ministries or agencies focus on their own interests and data systems. As a result, the data can be different or even conflicting, affecting its reliability. To solve this, the One Data Indonesia bill proposes the formation of a single authority to manage national data. It also sets sanctions for ministries or institutions that provide inaccurate data. This is important because data is the basis for policymaking, including budget decisions, and it directly affects public welfare.
Di dalam satu poin yang disampaikan itu adalah ada ketentuan bahwa dari Bappenas ya kira-kira seperti itu yang diberikan kewenangannya sebagai otoritas deputinya itu bisa menggunakan pihak ketiga. Nah, kalau pihak ketiga ini akan berbahaya lagi. Kalau pihak ketiganya swasta, ini kan kita harus melihat swasta ini swasta seperti apa. Karena sekarang ini kan banyak lembaga survei yang juga membohongin publik karena seseorang mau nyalon kepala daerah yang harusnya tidak populer kemudian dibikin supaya lebih populer, masyarakat kemudian melihat oh ini yang akan menang karena malah bergeser ke situ. Ini kan manipulasi data.
When data is not synchronized and often differs between institutions, it can disrupt development programs and complicate policy-making discussion. Instead of using a single reliable reference, policymakers may face conflicting information, which leads to inefficiency and weak implementation of government programs. Chairperson of the Legislative Committee, Bob Hasan, explained the One Data Indonesia Bill is not a revision of existing regulations, but a completely new framework designed to ensure accurate and accountable data. He underlined a reliable and integrated data is important for supporting national development planning, policymaking, and providing the public with reliable information.
Ini lebih kepada memang pembuatan RUU secara dasar dari nol, yang memang kita memiliki pengalaman dari berdasarkan Perpres nomor 39 tahun 2019 tentang Satu Data Indonesia. Tetapi kemudian karena melihat berbagai kepentingan dari tentu terutama bagi pembangunan nasional, pembangunan daerah, dan juga kebutuhan daripada masyarakat, maka data valid, data akurat merupakan hal yang sangat penting sekali.
The One Data Indonesia Bill is expected to address persistent issues of inconsistent data across government institutions, as well as encourage the formation of an authoritative body capable of coordinating national data. As a result, policies produced are expected to be more accurately targeted and contribute to improving public welfare. TVR Parliament report.
After the short break, we have more updates from Commission 6 of the House. So stay tuned, only on House News. Commission 6 encourages state-owned enterprises to support renewable energy development and ensure energy equality for all, as the government has established a clear transition plan where the focus is on expanding renewable energy power generation across Indonesia.
Member of Commission 6 of the House, Nasim Khan, hoped efforts to develop renewable energy will be intensified through coordination among state-owned enterprises, including synergy between Perum Jasa Tirta II and PT PLN. Nasim added the collaboration of the state-owned enterprises can be a solution to expand the equitable distribution of clean energy across various regions in Indonesia. With optimal synergy among SOEs, full government support, and incoming investment, renewable energy development will enhance national energy security as well as promote energy equity.
Dengan hubungan investasi juga anggaran yang sudah mencukupin, ya, yang tidak bisa lepas dari situasi sosial lingkungan kita harus diperhatikan. Ke depan sinergi ini berjalan maksimal sehingga kebutuhan masyarakat kita baik di darat, kepulauan, pantai, dan semua pegunungan itu bisa terselesaikan dengan program ini. Dukungan sinergi dari antara bagaimana apa yang diharapkan oleh Jasa Tirta tentang peraturan atau kebutuhan legalitas undang-undang ataupun gimana nomenklaturnya itu bisa dimaksimalkan, baik itu saham dan lain-lain kerjasama sehingga tidak perlu mengadakan termasuk investasi dari luar yang memang kita sudah siap, kita sanggup.
Commission 6 emphasized renewable energy development should not only focus on accelerating projects, but also ensure equal access to energy, balanced distribution across all regions, and environmental sustainability. This means the energy transition should deliver electricity to all communities as part of national energy equity. From West Java, Bondan Imana, TVR Parliament reports.
Speaker of the House received an award for supporting pro-woman policies from the parliamentary journalists. On this occasion, Puan emphasized the role of media in delivering the House work to the public, especially amid the growing challenges of disinformation and public misunderstanding in the digital era.
At the 2026 KWP Awards, theme Safeguarding the Struggle, Honoring Dedication, Advancing Toward a Golden Indonesia. Speaker of the House Puan Maharani emphasized the importance of strong synergy between Parliament and the press, particularly through KWP. This collaboration is needed to ensure information about parliamentary work is delivered completely and easy for the public to understand. Moreover, Puan stated KWP has an important function as a communication bridge between Indonesia's legislative institution and the public. In addition, the media also plays a role in translating state policies into more accessible language, allowing the public to clearly and easily understand their substance.
Dunia jurnalisme untuk bisa menyampaikan hasil-hasil yang sudah dilakukan oleh parlemen, ya bukan hanya DPR tapi MPR, DPD, sehingga kebijakan-kebijakan itu bisa disampaikan melalui bahasa keseharian rakyat sehingga rakyat paham isi dari semua kebijakan yang kita lakukan. Khususnya jangan sampai kemudian ada kesalahpahaman bahwa apa yang kami lakukan itu memang betul-betul sesuai, menjadi jembatan bahwa jangan sampai kemudian ada kesalahpahaman, apalagi di era digital seperti ini banyak sekali berita hoaks, berita yang kontennya itu kemudian dipotong-potong sehingga menimbulkan salah persepsi di masyarakat.
Puan Maharani hoped the award would not only be a ceremonial event, but would strengthen collaboration between Parliament and the media. The cooperation is needed to ensure the continuous flow of accurate information and to enhance public trust in legislative institutions. Tegar Aziz, TVR Parliament reports.
And that's how it is for today. Bye.